sitting reading in between your lines, because I miss you all the time. So get away, another way to feel what you do on yourself, to know and let yourself go. You know you do lose your self-control. There's no end of the rainbow. Turn away, another way to be where you do let yourself go, let yourself go. Is that so what do you wanna play? What's your point of view? There's no party screaming. Do you wanna get out? Handshake with you. What's your point of view? I want talk with you. I don't wanna get, 'cause I really wanna stay at your house. And the palace looks so, but you know how much you brought me all undone. You were ignoring you. I don't wanna know. And I'm aware that you were lying in the gutter, 'cause I did everything to be there by your side. So when you tell me I'm the reason, I just can't believe the lies. And why do I so wanna call you? So what do you wanna do? What's your point of view? The party scheme. Do you wanna go out? A handshake with you. What's your point of view? I want talk with you. I don't wanna get, 'cause I really wanna stay at your house. And the palace looks so, but you know how much you brought me all undone. You were ignoring you. I don't wanna know. So get away, another way to feel what you did on yourself, to know and let yourself go. You know you do lose your self-control. There's just no end of the rainbow. Turn away, another way to be where you do let yourself go, let yourself go. Is that so what do you wanna do? What's your point of view? There's no party screaming. Do you wanna go out? A handshake with you. What's your point of view? I want talk for you. I don't wanna get, 'cause I really wanna stay at your house. And the palace looks so, but you know how much you brought me all undone. You were ignoring you. I don't wanna know.
Good morning, night city, a day in the life. I was on my own, catching a ride with the lady. Her hair hangs down past her thighs, blue and pistol shit. Satisfies, leather jacket, zipped up tight. Mando, big ones coming, look for lost and found. Iron beams, bright and night city, where your appetite weighs you out your sunrise. She pulls my trigger, got me up alright. It's a danger. trigger, got me up alright. It's a danger pretty here in our city. She pulls my trigger, got me up alright. It's a danger pretty here in our city. Here in our city, got me up alright. Here in our city. She pulls my trigger, got me up alright. It's a danger pretty here in our city.
난 어디가 더 빛나는 crown. If you wanna play then level up, 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 up. If you wanna feel la 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 you know it's getting hot. You know we about to drop. You know it's getting hot, hot, hot. Yeah, you know it's getting hot. You know we about to drop. You know it's getting hot, hot, hot. I'm here tonight. Oh, 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 oh. I feel alive. Oh, 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 oh. I'm here tonight. Oh, 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 oh. I feel alive. Oh, 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 oh. I'm here tonight. Oh, 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 oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, 300 megabytes of hard drive capacity. That's right. 300 megabytes of hard drive capacity. Think about it. The value and the usage of a computer with a 300 megabyte hard drive. What can that do for you? Oh, sky's the limit. The sky is the limit. When you're thinking about the capacity of a hard drive of that size, it's as if you have 300 huge file cabinets, 300 file cabinets of storage capacity. That's right. The biggest arena of computers today, the biggest arena is in the CD-ROMs. It's the biggest growing sector of computers, and it's not going to stop. It is not going to stop. It's not a fad. Ladies and gentlemen, it's tomorrow, today. There's 26 volumes of an encyclopedia on one disc, on one CD disc. That's right. We're talking about 9 million words just for starters on that disc. That's on one disc. You couldn't get close to that on a floppy disk. 9 million megabytes. This comes with the CD-ROM built in.
Motherfucking trailer! Would you like to see Gorosaurus vs. Man, the solo trilogy from Toho? No, I would not, because nobody gives a shit about those two monsters. So let's be real, honestly. With the exception of a handful of Toho monsters, a lot of them really suck. To stop the motherfucking lie. Look at this guy's got glasses. Oh, a sophisticated zombie.
I heard Rodan's in here. I don't know. I don't know if I missed him.
I missed Rodan. On top of the volcano, I missed Rodan. Flying over the water, I missed Rodan. He's been confirmed, established 2014, right here on E.T. motherfucking N. I have only ever loved one woman. And it ain't you, bitch. Poof. Bye-bye. Have a see you next fall, because winter's coming.
I figured, I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And number one is Godzilla. Godzilla?
Motherfucking trailer! What up? Happy Friday to everybody. Nice to see you guys. Lot to discuss tonight. A lot to talk about. Oh, you saw the new Transformers movie? Good. Yeah, I think a lot of people have seen it by now. Maxed out on bench and squat, got 225 equals 2 plates on the bench. And nobody gives a shit, Big Bad. Nobody cares. No one gives a shit about your weightlifting. You know why? Because nobody else is lifting like that. So they don't want to hear you gloating. It's true though. Nobody else is lifting like that, so they don't want to hear your shit. Keep your accomplishments to yourself. You want to know something? My streams are the places where your accomplishments come to die. Which is why you should never mention them. I'm just kidding. No, I know that's tough. I mean, when I used to lift weights, to start from, you know, a certain point and then get to like a max weight lift, yeah. Just got Super Mario Brothers movie on 4K. Such a fun movie. It is a very fun movie. It is a very fun movie. All right, listen. A couple of things. So, all right. So we have some reviews to do tonight. We're gonna do one game review, one movie review. We're gonna talk about this Godzilla countdown after all that. I actually have plans for that. I came up with a great idea. I'm sure you guys will appreciate. But since I came up with the idea so late, I have to play some catch up. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Tomorrow we're going to have a guest. All right, I'm not going to keep you guys in suspense because usually the list of guests on my stream are pretty short. So Matt's going to be here tomorrow. He's going to join us. Matt from Monstrosities, by the way. So I'll be streaming at 8. He'll be arriving at 9. And we're gonna chill and have a conversation. So that'll be nice. All right. Okay, for those of you waiting on what's going on with Record Rob, that will be starting next week. I've been waiting to get all right, so here's how you guys know I'm actually taking this very seriously. So I got a teleprompter. Because I want to make sure that when I do this, I'm writing out my thoughts appropriately, making sure I get my shit straight, and then do single takes looking at the cam. So that'll be starting next week. I might do a launch stream here to get it started, but from that point forward, you got to go to the Record Rob channel, and you have to follow Record Rob on Twitter. The Twitter handle, for those of you who don't know, because I know a small handful of people followed me there. Let me pull it up right now. All right, so it's Record Rob at RecNation007. So, and I went with that because that basically matches my the YouTube handle as well for the channel. I guess I'll just put that there like that. Okay. All right. So, and the reason you need to be on Twitter is because that's where the videos are going to be. I'm pretty sure my first few videos are not going to survive on YouTube. So there may be a chance that I might just do heavy edits and put the heavily edited version on YouTube and put the full raw version on Twitter. So we're gonna test just how much free speech is allowed on Twitter. So and when I say I'm putting it to the test, I'm going to put it to the test. So this could be one of those things where Record Rob doesn't last very long, or it could be one of those things where Twitter really is free speech. So we'll see. Okay, what do you guys want first? Diablo 4 or Avatar: Way of Water? Oh yeah, it'll probably go to Rumble too if you want to watch it there. I'm gonna link that channel to Rumble, but a lot of people don't go to Rumble. You know, I mean, I know it's gotten better there. Like, there's a lot more people watching it, but I mean, those are the places. I'm talking the places people will feel most comfortable or are just used to watching things. Let's get the Avatar review out of the way first. Yeah, yeah. All right, so I did. Now it's funny because I was talking to Fat Samurai Guy yesterday. Actually, I should say last night, just to catch up with him, see how he was doing. He's down. He's under the weather right now. He's really sick, and we spoke for probably about a half hour, 45 minutes, just catching up. And I asked him if they see an Avatar, and he was like, "Nah." He was like, "Lady Fab Love won't do it." He's like, "Even though it's free right now, we're not even touching it." I'm like, he was like, "Have you seen it?" I said, "No, not yet." I said, "It's 3 hours and 12 minutes. I don't know if I can sit through that." So then after that, I said, "You know what? Screw it." I said, "Let me just do it now." I said, "Ooh, excuse me. It was a long day today." In fact, that's gonna kind of coincide with Avatar 2. So I ended up watching it late last night. And it was definitely long, but it wasn't nearly as, it didn't feel that long. And then I kind of went through it again today because I had one client that I spent 5 hours with from this morning to this afternoon. And that was just dreadful. Dreadful. All right, Avatar 2. So I actually liked it. I thought it was a lot better. It was a lot better than I expected, that's for sure. There was some parts of it that I thought were a lot that probably hit me a little bit more than I thought it would. It was a beautiful movie. I caught it in 4K because this monitor to my right here is 4K. This one is my HD monitor, and man, I gotta admit, I was taken back and sucked in by some of the scenery. I think that's what James Cameron does well, because if you just pull yourself out of that, the story is not all that. It's just not all that. You know what I mean? Like it's a very basic story. You know, I got caught up with a lot of the well-placed scenes, you know, them learning how to swim, because obviously this race of Na'vi are much different. You know, they have like fin tails instead of like regular tails. They do all their stuff in the water where the other tribe does it in the forest. I think the thing that I was like, what the fuck is going on, is Sigourney Weaver's character having a daughter. And it was like Immaculate Conception. And I gotta be fair here, because I killed Jurassic World for that when they did that bullshit. That shit happening here, now look, I know they try to explain it with the tribe and their connection to nature and the mother, the all mother, whatever they call it. Iowa, I think it is. But I just can't buy it. I just can't buy it. Like, she just was like dead pregnant. And I don't know. It's like they kept her avatar. It's like they kept her avatar like in suspended animation. Like, remember in the first movie, Sigourney Weaver, they actually brought her to the forest to try to resurrect her. And then she ended up passing away anyway. But her avatar, they kept it. So it's like, all right, what are we doing with this? So she's just sitting there like in a tank. So Jake Sully and his woman, what's the name again? I don't remember. The other chick. She wasn't in the movie very much this time. That's why I can't remember her name. They had like a couple of kids. Sigourney Weaver's daughter is like their adopted kid. And then they have 3 kids of their own. They have 2 sons and a daughter. So it's like 4 of them. And then they have this human kid named Spider. And Spider turns out to be the Colonel's son from the first movie. They got killed. And the reason they never brought him back to Earth, they explained that because he was a baby at the time, you can't travel in what they call it, like in suspended animation, like in a cryo sleep. You can't travel in cryo sleep when you're a baby, when you're a child. So he was stuck on the planet. Then he just kind of became a family because like the Na'vi and the good scientists from the first movie, like the white guy and the Indian guy, that team of Sigourney Weavers, they stood behind. Spider became like a member of the family. That was his nickname. His name was Miles, but they nicknamed him Spider because he actually learned how to climb. He's like almost Na'vi, except he's just human. Talks normal. He's intelligent, but he's a little bit more on the feral side. You know, he hisses like them and he swings and climbs like them. He's like a little Tarzan. It actually kind of felt weird watching that. Like, this kid is like, he's obviously intelligent. He can talk normal. He thinks like, he doesn't talk like an idiot. He obviously has education, but it's like he's choosing to act like, you know what I mean? It's just weird. It's one thing if he was raised by them and he's lived among them as he grew up, which to some extent he did, but it's not like he was raised by them exclusively or even at all. It's like they show scenes of him as a kid running around the science facility and stuff like that, and everybody's having fun with him. Like he's obviously loved. And that's another thing about this movie. The movie is definitely a lot about love. But the thing that really caught me off guard and really tugged on my heartstrings was the connection between the youngest son and the Avatar whale, the Turok or some shit like that. I don't know what they call them. It starts with a T. So there's like this whale species in the movie, and they're highly intelligent. They have more intelligence than the Na'vi and humans. And they can actually communicate via, like, they understand sign language and they can communicate back with sound. And it turns out these species of whale on the planet, on Pandora, they've learned to communicate with the Na'vi from the water. So like the Na'vi will talk to them in sign language. The whales understand it. The whales will respond back in their sound, like a bunch of clicks and moans, and the Na'vi understand it. And they actually did the subtitling in the movie. So like you literally had conversations between these whales and their Na'vi, and they had these relationships like family. So like when the whales would go out and to breed, they'd be gone for months and months and months. And then once they're done, they come back, and they come back with newborn. And it's like a big celebration in the village. And look, it's off the wall, all right? But I can't sit here and say that I wasn't completely into it, because just the way they present it, like this homecoming for these whales, all the Na'vi are in everybody's celebrating the whales. It's so beautifully shot. You can't help just say, oh, you know what I mean? All right, I'm into it. You know, it's shot so well. The music's done well. They just suck you into the moment. So the youngest son, and there's this whale outcast. And the son, his son, Jake Sully's son, is almost not necessarily an outcast, but he's always getting in trouble. He's always getting his big brother in trouble. And you can tell that Jake just, I don't want to say he doesn't like him. He obviously loves him as his son, but he's always disappointed in how much he messes up. So that bond between him and the whale was very cool because the whale saved his ass. You see them like slowly start building a really strong friendship. And he tells the son why he was an outcast, why the whale's an outcast. And it turns out that there's these like whale hunters that have been hunting these for their brain fluid. The brain fluid apparently can pretty much give you immortality, which is, we're going to see how that plays out in the next 15 movies. But anyway, so this whale fluid is like $80 million per vial of fluid. Well, the vial's a little bigger than that, like this big. Anyway, so be that as it may, obviously the guy from the first movie, the Colonel, comes back. Forgot the name of I remember his last name, Lang. Don't remember his first name, but he returns as the Avatar, and he does everything that the Avatars do. He takes his crew. They learn how to fly the frickin' forest birds. They tame them, but they're taught everything by his son, Spider, who at first was captured, but then the Colonel kind of starts working him over because that's his son. And the kid kind of inadvertently starts to help train them or teach them the ways, because he kind of, I guess he gives his son, I got to be honest, this is where I got to be critical, because they make it seem like his son doesn't know what his end game is, but they never really, there's nothing established that would give the kid the idea that his dad isn't going to try and wreck these guys. And this is essentially his family. So that part, I was pretty like, I don't know, this doesn't make sense to me. Because then finally, when Spider reunites with the family, the Na'vi family, it's not in the best of ways. You know what I mean? Like, it's clear that he led them there, despite the fact that he didn't want to, and he made that very clear. He led them there, and like Jake Sully and his family just kind of took him right. Like, it's just very, he seemed too willing to help. And then at the end, he saves his dad. After Jake Sully kicked his dad's ass and sent him down to the water to drown, Spider rescued him. I don't think he told him. I don't think they're aware. But so I don't know what's going on with this kid. It's very, very confusing plot there. That they're probably obviously going to build on in the next 17 movies. But look, it's a beautiful movie. It's not as good as the first one. The ending sequence, which is basically almost mirrors the first movie in terms of this big battle, is a little bit underwhelming, except for the part where the whale comes and wrecks shit. I mean, yeah, that end sequence is, the whale steals the show there. That alien whale. So I thought it was good. It does have a lot of sad moments. There's a couple of times that definitely had water in my eyes because, just some really impactful deaths. Well, I don't want to say impactful, but definitely some deaths that are sad. One in particular. But yeah, it was okay. It was pretty good. I mean, it's gorgeous to look at. And there's some scenes that are just, I really got like entrenched in those scenes. And I like the connection between Jake Sully's youngest son and the big whale, because they both kind of mirrored each other. They were both parallel. And in terms of how they were feeling and how they were like disappointments for their family or their tribe. And yeah, and that in the end kind of is one of the reasons why they were able to be victorious. So we'll see what happens in the next 21 movies when they come out in the next 35 years. But yeah, that's it. So Avatar 2, pretty good. It does go by quick. I'll be fair to that, because 3 hours and 12 minutes is long. But there was enough to get lost in that it goes by pretty fast. For me, it did. That's already another request the humans were after in the last film. Plus, Earth dying and humans needing to new home is reason enough to return. Yeah, well, the other thing too is like that. It's funny when I saw that we're going after the brain fluid, I immediately thought of in what's that movie with it's with Tom Holland and Liam Hemsworth. I saw it. It's basically a story of Moby Dick and whalers, and they were doing the same thing, but what they were getting from the whales was the oil from the brain or something like that, which was basically at that time a huge commodity because that's what people used to light their lanterns. So basically it was like you're basically farming for light. Very similar in that respect. Yeah, the heart of the sea, thank you. Okay, so the Colonel comes back to life because they basically they saved his consciousness. And he they have a memory of everything up until the time of their last recording. So he had his consciousness, same voice, everything. There was one part that was pretty eerie where he came upon his corpse, and I was like, wow, that must be weird. Imagine like being like reincarnated and you find your dead body from when you died. So he's like, and good spot there. He's looking at it. You can see his reaction. Obviously, it's very holy shit. And he's holding his own skull, and then he crushes it. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. You desecrated your own grave. Yeah, it was pretty good. He was pretty much a clone with a Na'vi body. Yeah. You enjoyed the film? Good. Yeah, so yeah, definitely a good definitely a good movie, I would say. I think so. I think the first one is a lot better, but this one, man, it is gorgeous to look at. Like I can't say enough about how incredible it actually looks. Like I was completely taken back by some scenes. Like I'm like, wow, how in the fuck? Like I underestimated how good this movie would look. Like I knew it was going to look good. There was no doubt about that, but I really underestimated just how good it was going to look. So, and then once you combine that with some of the scenes they were shooting and the music, man, there were a couple of sequences that I just got sucked in. What's going on, JC? Better or worse than Free Willy? A lot better than Free Willy. So, yeah, pretty much weird symbolism, but he was a clone in a Na'vi body when him and his team supposed to go native really thought they would make themselves look like Jack Sully's. Well, I think all the avatars look similar in my opinion. Instead of looking like rank and file soldiers. Just got a decal of Godzilla and Ghidorah on my car for early birthday. Oh, cool. Now everybody, when you drive around, everybody's gonna know you're a complete a geek. So you just shouting it out loud with that decal. I'm just messing with you. No, that's cool. I would actually like to get one on my ride. But for me, it's cool because I'm old man, so no one gives a shit. I actually drive a silver car. That's how you know I'm old. You ever see like older people, like my age or up, they have a car and it's silver color. It's like the old color. Yeah. The opening train battle was cool. The opening train battle, what I'm thinking about. Train battle for what? Transformers? Or are we talking about Avatar? Does Avatar have a train battle in the beginning? I'm trying to think now. Oh, okay. Yeah, oh, in 3D, I'm sure it was gorgeous. All right, I'm gonna do a review on Diablo simply because I'm gonna cut this at some point and put it up for a video. Then we're going to talk about the Godzilla countdown, even though we all pretty much know what it means, but I kind of want to get into that for a multitude of reasons. All right. Diablo 4. So Diablo 4 came out last week. I actually got the early edition, which gave me like 5-6 days of early access. Now you guys know I label myself a casual core gamer, which means that I don't play hardcore, but I play more than the casual gamer. Because obviously, you know, I can't play like I used to back in the day, you know, and even then I still pull in a couple hours here and there if I have the time. So I played the campaign. Now look, I've been playing Diablo since the first Diablo. I played every game, played through every campaign. I've done the end game, all that. And so I was very excited to play Diablo 4. It was one of my most anticipated games this year. And as someone who, and I say casual core because there's millions and millions of people playing this game, and there's a lot of no-lifers playing it. I mean, these guys have already gotten to level 100 and shit. It's like, wow. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, do you get up to take a shit? Like, I mean, fucking, I've seen people breaking 24 hours just to play this shit. I'm like, what's the rush? But anyway, now look, if they're a content creator, that's one thing, because I understand they got to get the content up. They got to, you know, to get their views while they can, while the getting's hot. I get that. But I mean, people who don't do content, who are no life in this game, like, I mean, come on, you know? I mean, even when I played hardcore, man, I had to like fall back and go outside and get a drink or whatever. Anyway, but as a casual core game, so I'm level 70 right now. I beat the campaign in like 3 days. I didn't, you know, like I said, no rush. This is a live service game. It's going to be around for years. I'm not worried. It's not going anywhere. So once some other games come out that I want to play, I'll turn my attention away from Diablo 4. But I will say I have thoroughly enjoyed the game from the time I started playing it all the way up to now. I have a level 70 Necromancer. I have played several different builds. I've played the Summoner Necromancer. I played a Bone Spear, a Bone Spirit. I've tried quite a few builds. Right now I'm sticking with the Bone Spear because it does a lot more damage. Necromancer Summoner is more than capable of you know, getting up to level 70 at least, because that's where I am. But it's a little slower. But it is cool to see all your pets just swarming the enemy while you just sit back and freaking basically drink a pina colada, drop a couple of dots. But they've done a good job of establishing a lot of different content to play in the game. I mean, you get the game whether you buy it for $69 or if you buy the deluxe editions or whatever. It's worth the investment because of the amount of content in the game. The world is absolutely enormous. It took me a long time to open up the whole map. And just the gameplay loop is a lot of fun. When you get into the end game, you got nightmare dungeons, which are basically provided to enhance with these items called glyphs. And these glyphs go on what's called a Paragon board. I love the Paragon board. It's much better than Diablo 3, where you just gain Paragon levels. The loop is just a lot of fun. Now, real quick, going back to the campaign. The scenery in terms of the CGI and the presentation provided in between each chapter when you hit a new story beat was just absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. The voice acting was on point. One of the main characters in the game that's not your character was if I showed you guys his picture, you know who he is. I forget his name at the moment, but he was in Game of Thrones. I got to pull up his picture now because I know you guys will recognize. He was also in Ready Player One, brief role in that one. Nothing. Okay, Ralph Ineson. So if you guys don't know who Ralph Ineson is, he's been in, like I said, Game of Thrones. He's also done voices for other games. Because he's got a very, very distinct voice. In fact, I recognized it in the game when I heard it, but I couldn't make out who he was. I couldn't remember his name. I could remember his face, but this is the guy I'm talking about. You guys have probably seen him. So he's been in Game of Thrones. Like I said, Ready Player One, Pope's Exorcist was one of his more recent movies. He's been in a couple of Harry Potter movies. Very, very, very good. I'm just surprised you didn't decide to get the demo for Final Fantasy 16 that's been out. Yeah, no, that's completely on purpose. I want to get into it because you know what it is. Here's why. The bad thing about playing demos or playing betas is you get into the game and then you got to stop until the game comes out. So that happened to me with Diablo. I didn't like that feeling, so I'm just gonna wait. Now, I know that you're able to save wherever you are in the demo and continue. I don't give a shit. I'm waiting till the game comes out. I'm just gonna wait. So anyway, voice acting in the game was phenomenal. My thing about the game, there is some room for improvement. Now, this is one of the few AAA games that I've experienced that has had a very good launch. And when I say a very good launch, I mean like I've been able to get onto the game since day one, both day ones, because there was day one early access, day one regular release, and I was able to get on with no issues. No issues connecting. I think I've been disconnected once. It wasn't a detriment. I was able to log right back in. Compared to some of the other Diablo games, this end game right now, they're holding back a lot of content. That's very clear. I've been seeing that more and more. I love the drop rate. It's not like it was in Diablo 3. It's not like in Diablo 3. You just rain legendaries all over the place. This game, they come down at a good clip. The problem I have is that a lot of it is not worth a shit, which it just feels weird. If you're not going to be getting drops that often, when you do get a drop, it should be something of significance. I've gotten a couple of uniques. I think I've gotten 4 uniques. And uniques are like the creme de la creme of loot. Those are the ones you want. In particular, ancestral uniques. There's 4 different levels of complexity in the game. You get access to the first 2. You get access to World Tier 1 and World Tier 2. But really, it's World Tier 3 and World Tier 4 that you want the access to. You can only access World Tier 3 when you hit level 50. Then you got to do what's called a capstone dungeon. Basically, it's like a dungeon that will allow you to pass through to the next tier if you beat the dungeon. Honestly, they weren't that challenging. I beat one at level 52 on World Tier 3. And that was so easy that the next tier was level 70, and I beat it at level 65. And I know there were some people who beat it at level 60. So the capstone dungeons are not that complex. But it definitely is a Diablo game. Once you get into the new world tiers, you're getting your ass handed to you left and right until you survive just well enough to get the new pieces of gear that'll get you strong enough to start handling it and not getting one-shotted and shit like that. So I like the game. There's a lot of hardcore players, and I don't mean hardcore like the mode. That's another story. I don't even know why people play that shit. But anyway, imagine playing a game for like over 100 hours and you die and that's it. That character's gone forever. You gotta start from scratch. I can't. My time is too valuable to try and do that shit. But the hardcore players, meaning the people who are no life in the game, have been complaining a lot and this and that. And, I get it. I mean, they're getting to see things that I haven't seen yet. So maybe through their complaints, the game will improve. But honestly, I think the game is in a decent place. There are some things they got to improve, quality of life. For example, you get these gems that you put in your armor to increase your stats. They get pretty encumbering after a while without putting them it's just the inventory management can be a bit of a pain in the ass. I think the drop rates are good. I think the loot leaves a lot to be desired, like the actual loot you get. There's just nothing that has really stood out to me like, wow, this is great. Obviously, there are pieces I found that I have needed, but I don't know. I see a lot of the same shit. You know what I mean? Maybe things will change now that I'm in World Tier 4. I mean, and I get a couple of unique items and a couple of other rare items, but for the most part, while the loot drop rate, like I said, is good, the actual items are mediocre. I also think that the game is. I'm looking forward to the first season, and that's when I'm gonna roll a new character. The good thing is once you beat the game, you don't have to play through the campaign again, so that's a good thing. And I think seasons for me is going to be worth it to roll a new character. I've been wanting to roll a new character, not because I'm getting tired of my Necro. Just, I haven't played any of the other classes yet. Except for the first beta, I played the Rogue, and the Rogue was really fun. But I haven't touched the Barbarian. I touched Barbarian temporarily for like 10 levels, and then I haven't touched any of the other classes. So my Necro's like my main, but I think either Rogue or Barbarian is going to be my next playthrough when seasons start next month. But overall, look, the game is great. I had a lot of fun. I think that the end game does need some improvement, but it looks to me like they're holding a lot of that for seasons. Seasons is going to be the big thing for them. One thing I do miss, and I know they'll bring it back at some point, but one thing I do miss is set pieces. So the other Diablo games used to be able to wear set pieces of armor that'll give you all these bonuses. They don't have that here, and maybe that's one of the reasons why I think a lot of the drops are just boring, because you don't get set pieces. But I think that'll change when, I don't know, maybe not the first season, maybe the second or the third. Dungeons can be fun. There's a lot of nerfs in the game. People are complaining about nerfs, but it's like, you've played these games enough times, nerfs are coming. Well, it's not even worth getting upset about. Just enjoy the exploit while you can and accept the nerf when it arrives. That's really all. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. Nerfs are gonna happen, period, and there's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, Diablo 4 is great. If I were, if you guys ever think about it, definitely pick it up. I've had a couple people that they've wanted to play with me, but haven't done it yet. And right now, at this point, I think they were like level 57, 56. I'm already level 70, so like too slow, bro. That's what I said. I'm casual core. Black Mirror season 6 kind of sucked. I haven't finished watching it. I think I got 2 more episodes to go, but I wouldn't say it sucked. Not at all. In fact, the episode with oh my god, I can never remember that guy's name. Aaron Paul. So there's an episode with Aaron Paul, and get this, this guy is actually alive. I haven't seen him in a movie or a show in years, but the episode revolves around Aaron Paul and Josh Hartnett, and it's probably the best episode in the season so far. It's basically they play 2 astronauts. It's an alternate reality in the late 60s, early 70s, and they're both 2 astronauts. I'm guessing on a mission to go to either the moon or another planet, but wherever they're going they're going to be up there a long time. So much so that the technology in this alternate timeline, they're able to transfer their consciousness into a replica of themselves on Earth. And a lot of crazy shit. It's a fucking crazy episode. Whatever happened to strategy games? Everything's easy now. Well, you can play Stormgate when it comes out. Some of the original creators of StarCraft created that game, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be coming out before the end of the year. But they had a big reveal on I think it was a PC gaming showcase, which was like the games that they showed are cool, but the presentation for that was a piece of shit. It was just so stupid. It was very cringy. So anyway, yeah, I think that episode's good. What's the name of that episode? Hold on. I was, let me see here. Season 6. Yeah, the name of that episode is Beyond the Sea. In an alternate 1969, 2 astronauts on a perilous high-tech space mission grapple with the fallout of an unfathomable tragedy back on Earth. So a very good episode. The one I haven't seen yet is Demon 79. Joan is awful is actually, I mean, if you see what's going on now with deepfakes, that one hits home really quick because at first I was like, okay, this is kind of silly. But then when they broke down how they were doing it, I was like, oh my God, they could, something like that is actually probably feasible within the next 10 years. So that one was kind of creepy. Lock Henry was pretty good. And then the last one I was left off watching was Maisie Day. I haven't finished that one yet, and I haven't watched Demon 79. But I would say Beyond the Sea is probably going to be the best episode of the season. Plus, Aaron Paul kills it in that episode. He absolutely kills it. And it took me a while to recognize Josh Hartnett. At first, when they showed him, I was like, wait, I know who is that? He looks so familiar. And then I finally realized it was Josh Hartnett, and I was like, my God, I haven't seen this motherfucker since he looked like a little baby. Now he's like, he's like my age, maybe a little younger. And he's, you can see the aging. I was taken back by the fact that Josh Hartnett was on that show. I'm seeing mixed stuff about Company of Heroes. I really need a World War II strategy game in my life. There's quite a number of them on Steam. 120 gigabytes for Diablo. It's a big game. It's a huge game. Like, opening that map took me days upon days. And actually, and I'm still not 100% opening the map. There's still like 3 areas I haven't opened yet. All right. Moving on. Okay, so the Godzilla countdown. So we all pretty much know what this is. It's basically a countdown to 0. So I guess maybe they are calling it Godzilla 0. What was I going to say? So I guess when the countdown is done, I'm assuming we'll get a trailer. I mean, that's got to be it, right? Because when does the countdown officially finish? When is it? July what? Anyone know? Someone said it was July 16th. Is that accurate? July 11th. Okay. So it's like, excuse me, my God. Only when I start streaming, I start yawning like this because I'm talking a lot. So it's like a digital advent calendar without any treats. I don't think they're going to do this whole big countdown for a fucking poster. That'd be disappointing. Maybe a title reveal. Maybe Godzilla 0 is not the official title, but probably because that's what everybody refers it as, that they're using that as a marketing strategy. So anyway, when I saw the countdown, this gave me a pretty good idea. That I wanted to do like videos for each day that the countdown goes. Obviously, I'm very behind, but these are just going to be like short videos. But I'm not going to review the movies that they're counting down. I might do a short, just what's the word I'm looking for? Like a short little recap of how I felt about it. But really, the goal of these videos is to kind of see where everybody was at the time that particular movie came out. And then I started really thinking back to every movie. I'm like, wow, this is actually good stuff. I think people would like to hear. Plus, it gives video content. So probably starting Monday, you can expect to see videos on that. I'm going to start doing 2 a day until I catch up. And then once I catch up, it'll be 1 a day. So I think it'll be fun. It'll be a little bit of content on the channel. It'll be a good way of you guys kind of following my journey in reverse order of how my Godzilla fandom, how it ended up until Final Wars and all the way down to how it began. So I'm actually going to talk about where I was and when I saw this movie for the first time for each movie. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, Lilith and Anarius were the two. Now here's the other real quick. One little criticism I have of the game is It's called Diablo, but you don't fight Diablo. This is like the first Diablo game where Diablo's not even in it. But like I said, by the end of the story, it's clear that he's coming in the next expansion, which I'm guessing it'll be a year or two from now. So you are going to face him at some point. But not that Lilith was a bad villain. And in some ways, she wasn't even really a villain. She was just... She doesn't like the hell demons or heaven's angels. And her and Inarius used to be in love, but obviously that ended. So no, Godzilla's Revenge. I remember seeing that when I was actually much older. I didn't catch that one as a kid. There were only some... When I was a kid, I only saw a handful of the Showa movies. I actually ended up watching all the Showa movies much later. So the ones I remember seeing as a kid, the first one I ever saw was Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. I saw Godzilla vs. Mothra. I saw Godzilla vs. Smog Monster. And Destroy All Monsters, and I think one more when I was a kid. And then as I got older, I was able to either buy or rent the other ones, and then I started catching up as media became more advanced. The 90s, I would say, is probably where I watched a chunk of the movies. But Toho's apparently attending Comic-Con in July, and they are making a big announcement at Anime Matsuri in August. Oh, that should be cool. Actually, Godzilla vs. Sea Monster was another one I saw as a kid. Didn't like it then. That hasn't changed. I've only read the books for Diablo and watched the cutscenes. Never played, but Diablo books are good, especially how they explain how Lilith tricked humans into unlocking their powers. Yeah. Well, that's how they became the Nephilim. And that's actually what you play in Diablo 3. Your character is a Nephilim. But yeah, I hope that the countdown leads to a trailer. It would be disappointing if it didn't. I'm not gonna lie. But like I said, it could be that they do a title review, and then if they are gonna be at Comic-Con, then maybe they'll do the trailer there. But a title reveal is possible. Maybe it's not officially called Godzilla Zero. Ugh. But it's funny that the first movie on the list that I'm going to have to talk about is Shin Gojira. Because if you guys remember, that wasn't exactly the best experience for me. So. Oh, did I show you guys the new... I think I showed you guys the new stuff, right? Let me see here. I think I showed you guys this stuff. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to get rid of that noise. That shit's annoying for me, too. There's others, but I haven't finished loading them yet. Yeah, I know. It's like a jump scare. You guys, you didn't see that? Oh, I think well, that's why, right? I only showed you guys the logo. Is that what it is? Yeah, I mean, that is mainly going to be used for streams, but the streams are going to come much later because when you start a YouTube channel, you can't stream until you have 1,000 subscribers. So there'll be no streams for a while. I do need to sign up for Twitter Blue so I can upload my videos on there. And then I'll link the Record Rob channel to Rumble so I can have my videos go up there. And then we'll see what happens. We'll see which platform bans me first. Because as you guys know, it's Pride Month. And one of my first videos planned is about Pride Month. And oh boy, we're really going to test the waters with that one. So what is with this other kaiju movie coming out? Even though I didn't see any kaiju in the trailer. But I guess the late, I shouldn't say young anymore. She's probably my age. But the girl who plays Mickey is going to be in this movie. Childish, you send me the link for that. So what is that? Is that an actual monster movie? Or is it just so happens she's going to be in the movie? Well, it's only going to trigger those who see it. You know, we'll see how far it gets. It is the first video, so I'm not expecting a whole hell of a lot of views. But that can change depending on how much you guys share it on Twitter. New Empire implies God may lose his king status. Or Godzilla should... That little icon always blocks the word. I don't think he'll lose his king status. Maybe for like a little bit in the movie, but I don't think it's going to be about Godzilla's king status more so than Kong's king status in the Hollow Earth. Dude, this is actually, when you think about Pride Month every year, this is probably the worst one for the Pride people. This has gone south for them. Like, it has not gone well. They've been exposed in the worst way. There's a lot of companies who didn't even put up a Pride icon this month. It's a lot. And I got some things I want to say about it. And you guys just stay tuned for that. It'll be next week. I have to finish writing my script for it and then load the script until the teleprompter. I'm supposed to be getting the teleprompter tomorrow. And then go from there. So I wanted to keep an eye on my New York Metsies, who are currently winning. I think 6-1. Good. I'm glad, because they have been playing like shit. All I want is a couple of wins here or there. I've already accepted the fact that they may not make the playoffs. I just want to see the kids play. What is... Okay. Anyway, so I gotta wait for that to load to see my Yankees are getting destroyed. Yeah, what's the score for them? Let me see. Oh shit, yeah, 13-1. Wow. Who's pitching for Boston? Who the hell's pitching for Boston? And who the hell pitched for New York? Yeah. That's crazy. Am I going to see the Boogeyman? I didn't know there was a Boogeyman movie. Oh, okay. I've not. I know a lot of people have been asking me that. I've been in contact with the retailer. So the supply chains are still backed up in many parts of the world, which is why these statues have been delayed. And for me, it's probably going to take longer because I was the third wave of pre-orders. And I think the first wave already got theirs. And the second wave, they still haven't gotten theirs yet. So I may not see it till between now and like the fall. So, just have to wait. It'll get here when it gets here. The monster design just now on Twitter. All right, hold on. All right, let me see. Go to Twitter real quick. There we go. Okay, so that's the monster from Hoshi. So what's the movie about? Is this your average generic monster movie? Did I watch the NBA Finals? No, but I watched the highlights. I really stopped watching the playoffs after the Knicks got eliminated. I feel it's better to teach kids LGBT stuff when they're in their young teens, since their minds are a little more developed. Teaching 5 years. Well, I don't, Goji fan. I don't think people would disagree with you there. The problem is that the people who should be teaching or speaking to them about it should be their parents and nobody else. And that's what the argument is. That's what the, you know. But like I said, we'll get into that next week. Rob, how you doing tonight? How you doing tonight? So when do you think we will get the Godzilla show, the Kong Skull Island show this Thursday? Also, have you been watching Gremlins Secrets of Mogwai? No, I have not. No, I don't have really interest in that. Godzilla show, I think September, October, around there. Probably get a trailer in either July or August. But I think one is coming soon. We're obviously counting down to Godzilla 0. So you got that. And yeah, the Kong series is what, next week you said? Next Thursday? Yeah, and that's the problem, is that it's very evident now that kids are being targeted, and that's a problem. That's a problem for a lot of people, and that's why this month is not been a good Pride Month for the LGBTQ community. You know who I really feel bad for, though? I mean, obviously the kids number one. You want to make sure the kids are safe, but beyond them, I feel bad for the actual gay and trans community that are not about this. It's like their reputation is being shit on because of a loud number of people. You know, there are gay people out there and trans people out there that just go about their daily lives like every other person. You know, they're not trying to fuck things up. They're not trying to do things like this. And they're essentially tarnished now. You know, and it's unfortunate. I hope my Giants smash the Dodgers tonight with the whole Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. Oh, Jesus, yeah, that was stupid. Yeah, Static Stuff was beyond the worst part of the... Yeah. It's been a bad month for them. It's not been a good month. I mean, come on, how about the White House, that fucking trans dude shaking his fake boobs? I mean, that's just... Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't hear him, but I heard he said that. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean God save the Queen, man? This is not, we're not a monarchy here. What the fuck is that? Dude, the guy is gone. Like, he's like barely hanging on. You know what I have a feeling is going to happen? This is terrible. I hate to say this, but I have a feeling he's going to tip over during the election. I have a feeling we're going to wake up one morning and you're going to hear President Joe Biden has passed away last night in his sleep, which, you know, going in your sleep is probably the way everybody would want to go. But I don't know, man. I just see it coming now. It's like he's far gone and he could barely walk. And then when he doesn't know which direction he's going. It's just, yeah. And think about it. Think about the amount of stress and pressure that comes with an election. And you're what, 80-something years old and senile and you got dementia and all this shit? Come on, man. Your body can't handle that. He definitely has dementia. I know because my grandmother has dementia. It's the same shit. Yeah. I hate to say it. I just feel like it's inevitable. And goodbye and good night to Brandon. Yeah. Yeah. Just have the vice president run into office at this point. Yeah. And if she's president, like if that were to happen and she becomes president because he passes away during the Democrats are not going to win at all. You don't even need, I mean, anybody could be Kamala. Anyone in this chat room could be Kamala for president easily. She is the most wow. You know how sometimes at a baseball game they show the fans? Well, there's this one, they showed this one chick sitting there with a blue tank top, and it just looks like her boobs are about to pour out. I was like, wow, cameraman's got a good shot there. LGBTQ night at the Met game tonight. Seats are empty. There were people on Twitter bitching about that. They're left from how they are in chat. We are fucked if she is president. Yeah, even if she's president for like 2 minutes. So, I mean, look how quickly it took him to destroy this freaking country. It's just, you know, that's the downfall of the kind of system we have, is that you might get a good president that does a lot of things right and really puts the country in a good position. And then you get a president that's just a complete jackass and in like a matter of 6 months to a year can just fuck everything up. It's so bad. You can just fuck things up quicker than you can build them up. That the men are better at being women than women? Shit, that is the biggest lie in the world. I mean, the women are better just by default. The fact that they have JJs makes them better. Never mind everything else. What stage dementia does Biden have? Stage 1? Nah, dude. He's way beyond stage 1. He's probably at the level my grandmother is, though. I don't know which stage it's considered, to be honest. We get shit done just to be replaced by a potato. Yeah. So let me ask you guys a question. Going back to the Godzilla countdown, where were some of you guys, or do you? Well, it's the same concept. Where were you when you first watched Shin Godzilla? It's probably what I'm going to quiz Matt on tomorrow night. I should give him a heads up. You guys are all in your house in the bed at the movie theater? Okay. I was going to say, I know some people got to see it in the theaters, no? Theater. So some of you were at home, some of you were in the theater. You were in your house completely missing it? A Blu-ray, huh? So you saw it later. I actually went to the theater in DTLA to watch it. Oh, a lot of people got to see it in the theater. That's good. It was at Walmart for sale, but never bought it. Okay. Sitting on my kitchen table with a jailbroken Fire Stick. Nice. That's one way to do it. I didn't know you could jailbreak a Amazon Fire Stick. So what happens when you do that? Like, what's available when you do that? Like, what do you see? Like a bunch of movies that normally wouldn't be there, or like what's the story with that? Oh, excuse me. Japan should release their films worldwide more often, just like how America markets then releases their films. I think it's the cost of promoting it all, which is why they don't do it. Remember, their studio is very small. Well, small in comparison to most Hollywood studios, which have the budget to release worldwide. Yeah, I'm serious. I don't know about, because I never really had a Fire Stick. Like, I have Amazon Prime, but the only thing we got wasn't the Fire Stick. We got the Amazon Prime box. I use my VPN to watch out-of-market sports games, mainly during the football season, so I can watch the Dolphins. That's why I use my VPN. And sometimes they block out the Mets and the Washington Nationals in this area because we're not far from Washington. So I just VPN the Mets and Nationals when they play each other. Let me move to the
one awesome motherfucker. Bobby Reynolds super chatted $5. Let me move to the moon first before ice cream head goes until we get a better president, which would be never.
Whether you get Trump or whether you get DeSantis, we're in good shape. It's just that one has a better chance of winning than the other. You can use VPN to do that, or back in the day, the jailbroken stick allowed you to watch TV and videos from all over the world, plus individual streaming channels. Nice. Rob, I remember in late summer 16, in your review, you said Shin was like middle of the pack out of the Godzilla franchise. Yeah, that hasn't changed. That hasn't changed. My feelings on movies rarely change. And I've seen Shin Gojira enough times since then to say pretty confidently that it hasn't changed for me. It's still like in the middle of the pack. Ooh, guys, don't get upset at me. I might call it a little early tonight. I cannot keep my eyes open. Keep yawning. I had a pretty, like I said, work has not slowed down since the beginning of the year. Like last year, the whole year work was always slow. This year has not been like that. I still love 98. That has not changed. Yeah. My feelings on 98 has changed over the years. I like it more now than I did when it first came out. Yeah, I saw that Fortnite did that, the Transformers promotion. On a scale of 1 to 10, how badly should a G fan watch Shin? I think every G fan should watch Shin. I mean, it did win an Academy Award over there. So there are many who stand by the film and praise it highly. I'm just not one of them.
You are one awesome motherfucker. Bobby Reynolds super chatted $5. DeSantis or a president that is not a creeper that sniff hair as in his has cocaine in them.
Oh my God, they ran a clip of all the times Biden did that with the kids. It's creepy looking. Holy shit. Like he literally grabs them and pulls them to him, and then he's while he's smelling them, he's rubbing their. It's very, very creepy looking. It's not even comfortable to watch. I can't imagine how the little girls felt. What are you looking for, young lady? I'll come in. Yeah. I think it had something to do with his dementia since he's not. Nah, he's been doing that for years. Before the dementia, he's been doing that. In fact, it's one of the things he remembers to do. Rob, just curious, have you ever heard of Adam the Woo? And I've been subscribed to him as long as you. No, I can't say that I have.
You are one awesome motherfucker.
Mets win. No, he does not do that. I meant to ask Ashley Biden, and she'll tell you about her dad. Yeah. Yeah, regardless of dementia, that's right. I'm late. What are we talking about? We're just kind of talking openly now. I already did my 2 reviews, and we've been talking on and off about the Godzilla countdown. Guess who's by my side? Good girl. Good girl. Imagine if someone actually DM'd Ashley Biden to ask her about her dad, and if she answered, yeah, she wouldn't. She probably doesn't even answer her own DMs. Most of these people have like publicists run their social media. No, I have not played the demo yet. Purposely staying away from it because I just want to wait till the game releases. When is it? Isn't it coming out next week? Next Thursday, 22nd, right? The 22nd, and then let me see here. It's a PS5 exclusive, correct? It's not on PC, right? I don't think so.
You are one awesome motherfucker. Bobby Reynolds super chatted $10. Screw that ice cream head, and while we're at it, screw Victor Salva. His cheaper creeper was okay, but the man himself is burp and sneeze. See, I'm allergic to the bull trash.
Burp and sneeze. Thanks for the 10, Bobby. Yeah, so comes out the 22nd, and then 5 days later, it's Story of Seasons. Oy. Has anyone seen The Flash yet? Anyone went to see it yesterday, or anyone here seen The Flash at all? Not yet? No? How was it, Childish? Lame Luca said it was hot garbage. Middle of the road. Most underrated Godzilla movie? Probably Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. Most overrated? Most overrated. It's a Millennium movie. I'm trying to remember which one. Not GMK. GMK is good. I think any of the Millennium movies are overrated. I didn't think Godzilla Millennium was really good at all. A lot of people love that one. I don't think it's good at all. And the ones where I have the ones where he fights Mechagodzilla is not that great. Like I have the problem I have with the Mechagodzillas after the one from the 70s is that they're run by humans. I don't like that. Smog Monster seemed overrated? Nah, man. Most people shit on that movie. I think in the last couple of years, people have changed their tune towards it. But I remember when I first started doing YouTube, that was one of the Godzilla movies people shitted on all the time. Not interested in superhero movies nowadays? Yes, one don't agree about Mechagodzilla controlled by humans. Yep. The concept of Godzilla ghost controlling Mechagodzilla was cool. For the last 10 years, I only see praise. Got Smog annoying Arnold. What? Annoying amounts of praise? Yeah. Hold on. So some people are saying it's good. Hey Arthur, I'm doing good. The only thing I liked about Godzilla 2000 was the end. When they start playing the Godzilla music and he turns around and he starts blasting the city, that scene is just incredible. I love that scene. Other than that, I wasn't really into the movie. Let me see. I want to see. Is there anybody review it yet? Let me see. The Flash. Let's see what people have to say about it. Let me see. Who do you guys want to watch? There's Jeremy Johns, IGN, Moist Meter.
One awesome motherfucker. Akno Goji tipped $5. Hi so nukes.
What's up, Acno? No nukes. Mr. H, Critical Drinker. Did he review it yet? He usually takes a couple of days. Let me see. Did he do it? No. He's the most recent ones he's done is The Covenant and Across the Spider-Verse. He hadn't done The Flash yet. He'll probably have The Flash up no later than Monday or Tuesday. Nerdrotic, come on, you know he's gonna shit on it. Don't you guys want to hear an objective review? Do you guys want spoilers or? There's the Flash breakdown, Easter eggs and details missed, the Flash post-credit scene and ending explained. You want to do IGN? Let's see what IGN have to say. All right, so because of footage, I can't show, but I'll let the review play out.
Fresh, funny, and fast, The Flash is a good time at the movies.
Oh, there you go.
Director Andy Muschietti's clear love of the character anchors the many refreshingly unique action scenes and twisty time travel plot, never losing sight of Barry Allen's powerful emotional journey. Though the story doesn't necessarily justify its excessive fan service, and the third act is a bit unwieldy, that doesn't stop The Flash from being an earnest and entertaining superhero film, and one of the better efforts from DC in recent memory. What's up, everybody? My name is Joshua Yale, and this is my...
Altiori.
Hi.
I love you.
Thank you. In a loose adaptation of the Flashpoint comic event that feels like a more focused version of the source material, Barry rushes to use his newfound time travel ability to undo the most traumatic event of his life, the murder of his mother when he was a child. Using Back to the Future time travel rules,
somewhere in the past, the timeline skewed into this tangent, creating an alternate 1985.
The Flash becomes a tale of two Barry Allens, two Batmans, and two versions of DC movie continuities colliding. What follows is a sincere and surprisingly humorous morality play where Barry must reconcile what his selfish and grief-stricken actions have wrought. It's especially effective in telling a story that includes the Flash's full origin without actually being a typical origin story movie. It's impressive that it still manages to get all of that across, because for a film called The Flash, there sure is a lot of Batman in it.
2 against 2 are better odds.
Even though it indulges in unnecessarily long Batman action sequences
Probably
and
got
numerous
paid
overt
by Warner
references
Brothers to
the
say
Tim Burton
nice
Batman
things.
films, they never overshadow Barry's story. The two Batmans' contrasting views are used to excellent effect to accent Barry's plight. As men orphaned by violence as children, they have a lot in common, and thus provide Barry with juicy philosophical food for thought. For his part, Ben Affleck seems more at home as Batman and Bruce Wayne than ever, with a performance that's all business and sadness with a perfectly measured dash of dry humor. Michael Keaton, on the other hand, portrays an aged Bruce with an understated performance. Too understated at some points.
Let's get nuts.
However, Keaton's action scenes are the exact opposite as we watch his Batman come alive and kick ass like never before thanks to modern special effects. On one hand, it is cool, like really cool, to see him fling batarangs and glide around like a bat out of hell, but it's also overly cartoonish when we all know that Keaton is in his 70s.
I'm Batman.
It's kind of like when the elderly Palpatine did that CGI flip in Revenge of the Sith. As for the other big superhero in this film, unfortunately, Supergirl feels more like a plot device than a fully fleshed out character, and it's sad to watch as her part in the story veers into cringy cliche territory.
My name is Kara. I will help you.
That said, actor Sasha Calle shines as much as she can given the thin nature of the role, and still manages to make an impression with her disillusioned Kara Zor-El, who holds an understandable grudge against humanity. All those characters play major roles, but this is the first time we've seen Barry in a movie centered around him, and Muschietti takes care to showcase his signature powers in true blockbuster fashion. Whereas Zack Snyder mostly rendered super speed and slow motion, Muschietti makes you feel the G's from the first time Flash strikes his admittedly dorky sprinting pose and takes off. At times, there is an uncomfortable yet silly intimacy in how the Flash's powers are depicted. We quickly see that having that kind of speed isn't as easy as it looks, and learning how Barry navigates things like friction heat and what happens to your clothes when you phase through solid matter gives you an appreciation for just how clever and resourceful he is. So as you would expect, the movie has a really cool slow motion speedster sequence, which there have been a lot of in other movies. This one does not top the king of them all, which I still say is the Quicksilver scene from Days of Future Past.
Oh, hell yeah. That was like the
with
best.
How inventive and honestly ridiculous it is. And it's almost like a horror scene, and you can feel Muschietti like really playing up the horror of the scene, yet he still makes it very funny and silly by the time it's all wrapped up. But it is a really cool sequence that really shows what the Flash can do and how smart Barry Allen has to be to make his powers work.
I could fix things. I could save your parents.
Now, while a majority of the visual effects are superb, one in particular is not. Time travel is portrayed using a concept unlike anything we've seen before, and credit where it's due for that originality, but when this chrono bowl, yes, which is what they actually call it in the movie, when this chrono bowl depicts people, they look like eerie wax dolls with plastic hair, as if the CGI render was shut off halfway through. Now, given that a handful of important scenes take place there, and they ask for a lot of emotional investment from us, the audience, the distracting look ends up robbing certain big moments of their intended impact. It didn't
All right,
hold
yeah, I
well.
did hear people say the CG was questionable. I guess that's what it was.
It's obvious going in that The Flash deals with time travel, but nothing can quite prepare you for the blast from the past that is returning to the era of Zack Snyder's Man of Steel from 2013. It feels strange revisiting these events 10 years later, yet that ends up working to the Flash's advantage as Barry begins to notice how things have changed in this timeline. In big ways and small, this story feels like a parting love letter to the Snyderverse, as it plays with the many toys the DCEU has introduced over the years and adds a new layer to that foundational film, and in doing so expands on Barry's superhero journey in a profound way. Only James Gunn and Peter Safran know what's in store for the future of the DC Universe, but if this is truly the last in-universe chapter of the Snyderverse as we know it, then it's a fitting swan song because it brings things full circle. And yes, Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom is technically part of the Snyderverse, but it's coming after what Gunn described as a reset of the DC Universe in The Flash. So as far as the canon is concerned, it's happening after the Snyderverse proper has come to an end, which is confusing, I know, but we're just gonna roll with it.
Wait, he's Batman?
So, the film culminates in one of the most ambitious and unwieldy third acts we've seen in a superhero movie in quite some time. The amount of chaos, both in action and storytelling, that unfolds threatens to overwhelm you and confuse you, and it kind of does at times, but ultimately, the movie succeeds because it manages to keep Barry's arc at the heart of it all. That's owed to the fact that Barry Allen is the most impressive part of The Flash, and why it all works so well. By having Barry meet his younger self, a version of him who was never traumatized the way he was, it helps us better understand what makes him tick and where his odd personality comes from.
This is mad trippy. Dude, this is catastrophic.
In this movie, Barry doesn't start off as the most likable character, but by the end, it's hard not to root for him. We see the ways in which grief affected his life, like how he doesn't have any friends and he overperforms at his job to make sure no one has to suffer like he has. And we see how that's made him a better hero. Actor Ezra Miller excels in this double role, offering two dramatically different looks at the same character. One of the best scenes of the film is just Barry having a passionate argument with his younger self.
My face. You stole my face.
Muschietti has this delightful offbeat sense of humor, and Miller proves they have the comedic chops to deliver it, taking all too familiar superhero beats and upending them into laugh-out-loud moments or creative action scenes. Yet the superhero theatrics are all in service of an intimate story about the pain of grief and the strength it takes to find acceptance. And in those moments of vulnerability, Miller shines just as bright.
Because this is the world where my mom lives. I'm not gonna lose her again.
Now, I have to address the elephant in the room. Before you decide whether to watch The Flash, you should be aware that Ezra Miller has had a tumultuous and deeply concerning past few years. They've been charged with several serious crimes, and they're currently serving probation as a result of one of them. Miller has apologized for their behavior and says they're seeking help for complex mental health issues. And you can read all about this in more detail on IGN. So, as a film critic, I've told you everything I honestly think about the film and Ezra's performance, but beyond that, all I can do is make you aware of what's going on in the real world, and it's up to you to decide what to do with that information according to your own personal values.
Do you know what this symbol stands for?
Yep, which is why I'm waiting for it to come to stream.
Means hope, right?
So, to wrap this up, The Flash is an ambitious superhero movie that largely pulls off its tale of two worlds, two Flashes, and two Batmans. The superhero fan service is strong with this one, perhaps too strong at times.
Is this what I think it is?
But it never fully overshadows Barry Allen's genuinely tragic and heartfelt story of grief. Though the visual effects aren't always the best and the third act is a bit overwhelming, strong performances and a refreshing earnestness keep The Flash on track and running circles around many of the recent DC Universe movies. If this truly is the last stop on the Snyderverse Express, then it is a respectable way to go out, which is why I'm giving The Flash a score of 7 out of 10.
Wow.
Are you ready?
Ready. Let's go.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to stick around and check out what we thought of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Fast.
So IGN says it's good. PS2 graphics. Like I said, I'll probably check it out when it comes on. I'm not going to go and pay for to watch it. Fuck that. Screw that shit. Yeah, I saw that on the Facebook page. The Brave and the Bold, isn't that based on wasn't there a cartoon called that first?
You are one awesome motherfucker. Bobby Reynolds super chatted $5. Would you think Logan Lerman on Percy Jackson would make a good Flash instead of Eliza Miller?
Shit. I said from the beginning, I think they should have just kept Grant Gustin and put him on the silver screen, my opinion. So it's not based on the cartoon, even though it's called The Brave and the Bold? Yeah, business as usual. So that was him. Looks like Angry Joe did his 45-minute review on it a little while ago. Huh. I'm here for Michael Keaton as Batman. Yeah, I mean that's what they want you to do. They want you to go there to see Bat. I didn't even know. I mean, I remember seeing Ben Affleck in the trailer. I didn't know he was that prominent in the movie. I just thought he was in a couple of scenes, but it sounds like there's a lot of Batman, and of course, Warner Brother loves Batman. It's the only thing that brings them money, I suppose. He only has 2 scenes? Oh, never mind. Nah, I haven't even seen like the last 2 or 3 seasons of The Flash on TV. Maybe one day, but it got so bad after a while. It's like Arrow. The way Arrow ended was just, it was so woke. All right, listen up, fellas. I'm going to call it a little early tonight because I really need to get some shut-eye at some point. But tomorrow should be fun. Because like I said, we're gonna have Matt here, so we'll probably go beyond 2 hours tomorrow anyway. Because like I said, I'm gonna start at 8. Matt's gonna come on at 9, and we're just gonna shoot it up. So we'll definitely be on late tomorrow. So I'll more than make up for the half hour early. Well, I'm only leaving 20 minutes early, but yeah. So don't worry, we'll make it up. We'll definitely make it up tomorrow in quite large numbers. So yeah, it's gonna go. I'm not gonna stop at 11. I'll pretty much stop when he's ready to. So, but yeah, man. So yeah, thanks for coming through, guys. And you know, tomorrow will be a lot of fun. So, and yeah, like I said, should be definitely seeing some content next week. So get ready for that. Just so you guys know, when I do the Record Rob videos, they're probably gonna be up late, because you know I'll be wanting to do it when the little ones go to bed, and since they're on vacation, they're going to bed at 9:30. So. So those videos will probably be up like at 11 or midnight. So, but anyway, guys, that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Have fun, take it easy, and yeah. And if I don't see you tomorrow night, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Night, buddy. Oh, they're going to bed now. So what? You better sleep on the floor, because that bed is we haven't connected it to the frame yet, so it slides around a lot. And I don't want you guys jumping. We just bought that. Yeah. So if you want to stay in there, you got to sleep on the floor. All right. Night, honey.
Night.
All right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. All right. All right, guys. Have a good rest of the night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.